we are going to go over your rates and unit rates test review for the test that you have coming up. In the actual document itself, you can click the hyperlinks on each of the titles to see a video on how to do each part of your review. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see if two fractions are proportional or not. And remember that proportional means that they're equal or equivalent, and non-proportional means that they are not equivalent and not equal. So we need to cross multiply. Remember, we have to cross multiply to see if they are proportional or not. So we have 3 and 16, 3 times 16, and 5 times 12. We need to see if their products are equivalent or not. 3 times 16 is 48, and 5 times 12 is 60. So these are non-proportional. Since 48 and 60 aren't equal, they're not proportional, they're not equal. If we look at number 2, we have 1 times 46, and we have 2 times 23. 1 times 46 is 46, and 2 times 23 is 46. Since these numbers are the same, we can say they are proportional. The second thing you'll need to be able to do for your test is to solve proportions. So this basically the same thing as determining if they're proportional or not, except now you have a variable and an equal sign. So again, we're going to cross multiply. 15 times 6 equals 5 times x. 15 times 6 is 90, equals 5 times x is 5x. The operation that's happening between 5 and x is multiplication, so we need to divide both sides by 5 to get x alone. And 90 divided by 5 is 18, equals 5x divided by 5 is just x. Looking at number 2, same thing. Set up your proportion. 9 times 5 equals 3 times m. 9 times 5 is 45, and 3 times m is 3m. Again, the operation happening between 3 and m is multiplication, so we need to divide both sides by 3, and we have 15 equals m. The next thing y'all need to be able to do is to determine unit rates. And remember, unit rates have a denominator of 1. Okay, so we have a couple of word problems that we're going to go through. Lisa read 135 pages of her books in 5 days. How many pages does she read in 1 day? So my first proportion is 135 pages over 5 days. Equals, we want to know how many pages, so we have x pages in 1 day. Then we cross multiply. 135 times 1 equals 5 times x. 135 times 1 is 135, and 5 times x is 5x. Divide both sides by 5 since 5x is multiplication. And we get 135 divided by 5 is 27 equals x. So she read 27 pages per day. Number 2, an 8-pack of Charmin Ultra toilet paper costs $5.62, and I want to know how much each roll is in the pack. This is something that you can do if you're trying to figure out if you're getting the cheapest pack of toilet paper per roll. So we have, we want to know how much each roll is. So that means we want the 8 in the denominator, because we want 8 rolls. We want to know how much one roll is. So we need to make sure that those are in the denominator. And it was $5.62 per pack, and we want to know how much money that is. So again, we cross multiply. $5.62 times 1 equals 8 times x. 562 times 1 is 562. And 8 times x is 8x. Again, since 8x, when a letter is next to a number, when your variable is next to your number, that's multiplication, so we divide both sides by 8. And 562 divided by 8 is, we're going to round, so that's about 70 cents per roll. $0.70 per roll. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is the constant of proportionality with graphs and tables. Constant of proportionality means that it's going through 0, and we basically want to find the unit rate of each of the graphs and tables. So if we zoom in so we can see that, we have each of the points. We have 0, 0, we have 3, 9, 6, 18. So I don't have anything that has 1, so we're going to make our proportion. 9 over 3 equals x over 1. 9 times 1 is 9 equals 3 times x is 3x. Divide both sides by 3 and you have 3 is your constant of proportionality. Same thing here. We have 30 and 6. 30 over 6 equals x over 1. 30 times 1 is 30. 6 times x is 6x.
Folks, just for clarification, our foundations meeting is next Friday. Thank you.
6x, we're dividing both sides by 6. 6x divided by 6 is x, and 30 divided by 6 is 5. Now we need to look at our table. This first table is already done for me because I have a 1 somewhere. So this is my constant of proportionality. In the second table, we had to do something similar to our graphs. So we have 48 over 4 equals x over 1. 4 times x is 4x. 48 times 1 is 48. Divide both sides by 4 and your constant of proportionality is 12. Alright, the graphs didn't get put on here, but it's the same graphs as we have here. So we need to remember that the formula for a graph or an equation is y equals kx, where k is your constant of proportionality. Okay, we're just gonna, it's the same graphs and tables as the previous section, so we're just gonna flip back to that. So here we found our constant of proportionality was 3. So all we do is plug in y equals 3x, and that's my equation. You're never going to have anything added on to it. It's just going to be y equals 3x. There's not going to be anything on the opposite side of your x. So if we look at number 2, again it's y equals kx, where k is your constant of proportionality. If we look at our graph, we found our constant of proportionality to be 5. So when we plug it into our equation, we have y equals 5x. And that's my equation. And we need to also be able to write the equation of tables. This is the same table from the last section, and we determined that our constant of proportionality was 100. So I have y equals 100x, because remember it's y equals kx, and you plug your constant of proportionality in for k. We look at number 2. We have y equals kx, and we said that our k is y over x. We have 48 over 4, which is 12. So my equation is y equals 12x. And that is your review.